Peace and peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade on the Nat Turner Trail. This is Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade on the Nat Turner Trail, brothers and sisters. You are here in Cortland, the county seat of Southampton County, Virginia, at the Rebecca Vaughan House new site. This building was moved from its original location 5 miles away at the end of a long lane off Barrow Road. The last landowners killed during the 1831 Southampton insurrection led by the prophet Nat Turner were at this house. Today, it is the only structure remaining where enslavers died during the Nat Turner Rebellion. Nat Turner and his men reached the widow Rebecca Vaughan's house around noon on August the 22nd, 1831. Rebecca heard riders approaching, thinking it was her son George coming home with a group of fox hunters. The insurrectionists had already killed George. They unalived Arthur, Vaughan's other son, and they unalived the overseer near the still as they rode up to the house. Rebecca was inside with her 18-year-old niece, Anne Eliza Vaughan, who was visiting to plan her wedding. Hearing voices outside, Anne Eliza came downstairs. She was unalived immediately, her body thrown outside. Rebecca asked to go upstairs to pray before meeting her maker. The insurgents agreed, but she prayed too long. They unalived her while she was still on her knees praying. The prophet Nat Turner then urged his followers to march toward what is today Jerusalem, today's Cortland. This is where the house originally was. They moved it to this location. Nat Turner described. He is between 30 and 35 years old, 5 feet 6 to 8 inches high. He weighs about 150 and 160 pounds, rather bright complexion, but not a mulatto, broad-shouldered, large flat nose, large eyes, broad flat feet, rather knock-kneed. Walks brisk and active. Hair on the top of the head very thin. No beard except on the upper lip and tip of the chin. A scar on one of his temples produced by the kick of a mule. Also one on the back of his neck by a bite. A large knot on one of the bones of his right arm near the wrist produced by a blow. This is the last site of the Nat Turner revolutionary unalivings. A painting of Prophet Nat with his trusted companions at Cabin Pond. If you ever come and do the Nat Turner tour, you will go to Cabin Pond, the site where Prophet Nat met with his soldiers. Nat Turner, an enslaved self-taught preacher, believed that signs from heaven guided him to initiate the slave revolt, in which more white people were killed than any other revolt in American history. Born in Southampton County, right here, today, October the 2nd, 1800, the prophet Nat Turner was intelligent, literate, deeply religious. He claimed he began receiving visions from God in the 1820s that prompted him to plan an uprising against slaveholders. On February the 12th, 1831, Nat Turner witnessed a solar eclipse. Today we have a solar eclipse. And on August the 13th, he observed an atmospheric disturbance that made the sun appear bluish green. He believed these were his signs from God to begin his rebellion. On the afternoon of August the 21st, he met with his closest followers at Cabin Pond, a reptile-infested swamp. They began traveling from house to house, offering enslaved people the opportunity to join their rebellion and promised their freedom. All enslavers that Nat killed and all enslavers that Nat Turner and his men encountered were unalived. By noon on August the 22nd, Nat Turner's army numbered more than 60 men. Allegedly, there were women too, sisters. Allegedly, there were some women too, sisters. Allegedly, there were some women too, sisters. After killing the Rebecca Vaughan family, General Nat and his troops were challenged by the Southampton militia at nearby Parker's Field. They discovered the path to Jerusalem. Today's Cortland was heavily guarded by militia, blocking their route over the Nottoway River at the Cypress Bridge. The insurrectionists spent the evening at Major Ridley's quarter. The next morning, the Blunt family and their bondsmen at the Belmont defeated Nat Turner's followers. Later that day, most of Nat Turner's remaining supporters were scattered by the militia. Virginia and North Carolina companies violently suppressed the uprising. Nat Turner escaped the skirmish, avoiding capture until October the 30th, 1831, when he was discovered. Many years later, on October the 30th, 2010, Dr. Umar would also be discovered at a lecture in Harlem at the National Black Theater that gave birth to the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Dr. Umar was born on August the 21st, the day the Nat Turner War began. It says right here, the Rebecca Vaughan House, a work in progress from the Nat Turner era, donated to the Southampton County Historical Society by Jack and Ina G. Pittman. Its historical significance in our county history, the last house on the insurrection scene in which the prophet Nat Turner or his soldiers had taken the life of anyone. So they picked the house up and they moved it here, brothers and sisters. They picked the house up and they moved it here, brothers and sisters. This is the last home where the prophet Nat and his soldiers carried out their God-given mission to eliminate slavery by any means necessary, brothers and sisters. I wanted y'all to show y'all. Nat Turner was born on an eclipse, October 2nd, 1830. Turner was born, and there's an eclipse today on his born day. There was an eclipse on the day Nat Turner was born, and there's an eclipse today on Nat Turner's born day. The revolution continues, brothers and sisters. Well, my phone just froze. The Prince of Pan-Africanism at the last site of the Nat Turner unalivings. Revolution began on my solar return, August the 21st. Nat Turner was captured after going into hiding October 30th, the day I was discovered in New York. Birth of the Prince. Nat Turner was hanged November the 11th, the day I first showed up to Nat Turner Land for my first tour. We are here today, brothers and sisters. Come on out to the Capron Ruritan Club, CAPRON, the Capron Ruritan Club today. Program is starting now, right next to the post office in Capron, Virginia. The struggle continues. It is 2:42. The height of the eclipse is taking place right now, and the new moon in Libra will take place at 2:49. Height of the eclipse at 2:45, and the new moon in Libra at 2:49. The struggle continues, brothers and sisters. Is Pan-Africanism a perish? It is unify or die. It is Pan-African Garveyism or get back. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Tunde Oguntade. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Tunde Oguntade. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Tunde Oguntade. Coming to you live and direct from Hotlanta, Georgia. Coming to you live and direct from Hotlanta, Georgia. Coming to you live and direct from Hotlanta, Georgia. Toronto Africans, I will see you tomorrow, God willing. Toronto, Canada Africans, I will see you tomorrow, God willing. Toronto, Canada Africans, I will see you Friday and Saturday, tomorrow and the day after for the meet and greets, with the main event in Toronto, Canada, being at the Jamaican Canadian Association Sunday afternoon. That's this Sunday, October the 6th, Jamaican Canadian Association of Toronto, Canada. Program, I believe, is from 12 until 7. Dr. Umar will be speaking at 5. This is going to be the shortest video of my career. I want to say something to all Black parents raising school-aged children. This is going to be the shortest video of my career. I want to say something to all Black parents raising school-aged children. I don't care if you live in Atlanta, Miami, Little Rock, New Orleans, Houston, Phoenix, Oakland, Seattle, Portland, Milwaukee, Chicago, Detroit, Omaha, Philly, Baltimore, DC, Raleigh, Charlotte. I don't care where you live. Hawaii, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Lucia. Listen. Not St. Lucia, St. Croix, St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. Let me give you this. All Black parents, let me give you this. If you do not concede, they cannot proceed. I'm talking about public and charter schools of America. I'm talking about public and charter schools of America. If you do not concede, they cannot proceed. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? If you do not concede, they cannot proceed. Stop letting these public and charter schools bully you into thinking you have to let them test your child for special ed. Stop letting these public and charter schools bully you into thinking you have to get your child evaluated for ADHD. Stop letting these public and charter schools bully you and manipulate you into thinking you have to put your child on medication. No, you don't. If you do not sign permission, concede. If you do not sign the paperwork, if you do not sign permission, they can't move your child. They can't evaluate your child. They can't medicate your child. They can't diagnose your child. I'm tired of hearing Black mothers and fathers tell me the school made me do this. The school can't make you do anything. They bullied you. Bullying you into doing something isn't the same as making you. Your fear made you do it. Your anxiety made you do it. Your apprehension made you do it. They cannot make you do anything. You have to sign permission for the psychologist to evaluate. You have to sign permission for the ADHD evaluation. You have to sign permission for the autism evaluation. You have to sign permission. All evaluations, I don't care what kind it is, all evaluations require a signature. If you do not sign, they can't move forward. Well, the team said they decided this. The team said they decided that. The team said they decided this. The team said they decided that. I don't care what the team said. You have more power than the entire team put together. You have more power than the entire team put together. I don't care what the principals say. I don't care what the dean of students say. I don't care what the classroom teacher says. I don't care what the speech pathologist said. I don't care what the reading coach said. I don't care what the math specialist said. You have all the power. If you don't sign your name, if you don't sign your name, If you don't sign your name, they cannot proceed. Remember this rule. If you do not concede, they cannot proceed. If you do not concede, they cannot proceed. If you do not concede, they cannot proceed. Remember that. If you don't sign your name, nothing more can happen. If you don't sign your name, nothing more can happen. If you don't sign your name, nothing more can happen. Toronto, I'll see you Friday. Toronto, I will see you Saturday. Toronto, I will see you Sunday. Unfortunately, due to Hurricane Eileen, most of my books did not arrive in Toronto. Unfortunately, due to Hurricane Eileen, most of my books did not arrive in Toronto. We do have some. We don't have enough. It's going to be first come, first serve on the Black Parent Advocate in Toronto. But you will still be able to purchase the book. And when they show up in Toronto, the event host can give you your copy of the book that you paid for. Nashville, I'm going to see you Wednesday. National Museum of African American Music, 6 p.m. Nashville, Tennessee. I will see you Wednesday, October the 9th. National Museum of African American Music, 6 p.m. It's Up There podcast interview. Dallas, Texas, I will see you Saturday, October the 10th. Dallas, Texas, I will see you Saturday, October the 10th. I believe it's the Hilton at DFW Airport. The African American Contractors Association is having their banquet. The Prince of Pan-Africanism will keynote. If you need the flyers, you can text me 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I'm hanging out in Atlanta tonight. And I will see my Toronto Africans tomorrow for the first time in 12 years. I will see my Toronto Africans tomorrow for the first time in 12 years. I will see my Toronto, Canada Africans for the first time in 12 years. Barack Obama was still the president the last time I was in Toronto. King Kong Consciousness, ATL, stand up.